Meghan and Harry planning for baby number 2 as the couple get political as they appear on the Time 100 television special.
This election, I'm not going to be able to vote here in the US. But many of you may not know that I haven't been able to vote in the UK my entire life.
Inside Phillip's relationship with Charles as Kate and William get competitive over bagels. Plus, actor Ryan Ken goes viral with his version of The Crown.
And it made me a little anxious at first, but I will say it was a thing I had intended to spread joy for my friends, and so it was really nice that it could have that effect even on strangers. So
definitely,
for the most part, it's been fun.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hello to our fellow royal lovers and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Molly, the host of the Diva Behavior Podcast. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Christina. How are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Good. Happy fall. It's fall now.
Happy fall. We are officially in fall.
Yes. Can't wait to see some of Kate's coats.
Oh my God. I know. I live for her fall fashion. Yeah. Well, we have a ton of news to get to this week, but first we have to kick it off with our comments from our royal viewers, our royal watchers, who, like always, have a lot to say. So we're kicking it off with Dee Dee. Says, we all know that the privacy H&M wants is to stop the tabloids from abusing and invading their privacy. They never said that they will be going into obscurity. So this was, of course, talking about a lot of reports saying that, they took this Netflix deal and now that they're not going to have the privacy that they want.
Right. I think this commenter has a point. We haven't really heard them speak directly about privacy. It's just something that everyone has sort of assumed based on the different actions they've taken with the press and the different comments they've made. So we actually, I guess, don't really know what they want privacy-wise.
Right, exactly. They've never come out and told us, but maybe they will eventually. Tiffany Rose says, I adored seeing those dresses. Thank you. As a half British person, half Canadian, living in Canada, I loved Princess Diana. Of course, last week we talked all about some of these iconic royal dresses that were up for auction, the stories behind them. It was a really fascinating conversation.
It was great. And the time is always right for a royal fashion moment, especially when we're all stuck inside wearing sweatpants, I would say.
I know. I don't think I've put on a pair of pants or a dress in months. Still in my sweatpants right now. Libby says, you guys are great. I always look forward to this every week. Well, thank you, Libby. We appreciate your comment and your watching. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we look forward to it too.
We do. We love running down all of the royal news. And like every week, this week, we got a ton of it. The royals are keeping very, very busy. So let's move on to our royal roundup. But we have to talk about Harry and Meghan's big appearance at the Time 100 event. Take a look.
Every 4 years, we are told the same thing, that this is the most important election of our lifetime. But this one is. When we vote, our values are put into action and our voices are heard. Your voice is a reminder that you matter, because you do, and you deserve to be heard.
This election, I'm not going to be able to vote here in the US. But many of you may not know that I haven't been able to vote in the UK my entire life. As we approach this November, it's vital that we reject hate speech, misinformation, and online negativity.
Well, this was definitely shocking because they got political, which is usually a no-no when it comes to the royals.
Yeah, they really went for it. I was not expecting them to speak in such bold terms. I think the boldest terms they've used yet since they've moved to the US.
Yeah, definitely. What surprised you the most?
I think one of the things that surprised me was that they brought up the fact that Harry has never voted in the UK before again, because they brought it up a few weeks ago. It's, it makes sense that this is something they would want to talk about, but I'm just wondering why. I'm wondering what their motivation is in talking about this over and over. Does Harry feel like his rights were being suppressed when he was living in the UK? Is he trying to kind of campaign for the British family to be able to vote, or is he just trying to impress upon people the importance of using your right to vote because not everybody is able to do it? I'm not really sure where they're going with that line of.
I'm not really sure where they're going with it either, but it definitely seems like he's kind of sending a message that, like you said, I haven't been able to vote. I haven't been able to voice my political opinions in my 36 years. And now that I've taken a step back, it's my time to do it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. So, I mean, I think it's a little refreshing because we can actually hear that he has an opinion on certain things, which is nice. But yeah, definitely an interesting stance. They spoke for about 2 minutes in this event in their lovely backyard. I love how you see their dog run by, which was very cute as well. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. You know, Meghan is definitely getting political. This is something that she really wants to do. And earlier in the week, she teamed up with Gloria Steinem to make some phone calls to ensure that people get out and vote. Take a look.
And the first thing we did, and why she came to see me, was we sat at the dining room table here where I am right now and cold called voters.
Wow.
And said, hello, I'm Meg, and hello, I'm Gloria, and are you going to vote? Right.
Yeah.
And that was her initiative.
Yeah, so it seems like Meghan is definitely dipping her foot into the political realm.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be holding back at all. And I think even her comments at the Time 100, when she said, this actually is the most important election of our lives, you know, you'd have to be pretty naive to think that she was not advocating for one candidate over the other, just based on her past comments, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. She has spoken out about her dislike of President Trump, and I'm sure within the next couple of weeks they probably will endorse presidential candidate Vice President Biden. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe not, but I think that will be definitely a big political step.
Right. And Gloria Steinem, when she was describing her, she said political. She said Meghan is very political, and she could have said anything during her chat about Meghan. So I think it says a lot that is what, because Gloria Steinem knows a lot about messaging and PR and media. So the fact that she decided to say that sort of makes me think that we're only going to see Meghan lean further and further into that political nature as time goes on.
Right. And it was interesting in Gloria's interview, she did say that Meghan came back because of the election. So maybe now it's kind of starting to make a little bit more sense. I don't know if that's the 100% reason why she came back. I can't imagine that it was, because she could have definitely gotten political while in London as well. But it seems like now she's definitely kind of putting her political views into high gear.
Right. It was interesting that Gloria Steinem said that, because you can vote by mail from the UK and from any country if you're a US citizen. So, you know, she could have voted here. So I guess maybe part of the reason she came back is to encourage people to vote and to kind of campaign a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like we can see Meghan definitely getting maybe into a political role in the future. I wouldn't
Definitely could see that 100%.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are also getting some news on how Harry celebrated his 36th birthday, and he did it in a very charitable way, which really isn't too surprising when it comes to him.
Yeah, it's really nice. He, you know, far cry from his earlier years when he was the party boy prince. I'm sure he got up to a little bit of that too, but he donated $130,000 to the CamFed campaign, which helps African girls get education.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely doing his part, even on his birthday. So, but I'm sure Meghan and Archie spoiled him rotten as well.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like over that week, he also got a fresh new haircut. He showed it off while talking all about the coronavirus. So take a look.
With COVID-19, the world is being pitted against a new challenge, one that is devastating and destructive in its own right. And I am heartened to see that once again, the Nepalese spirit is unwavering. In Afghanistan, I was honoured to serve alongside the Royal Gurkha Rifles. These soldiers showed me what they believe in.
Yeah, I'm liking this new fresh do from Harry.
I know, his hair looks a little bit fuller.
It does. I'm definitely liking it. So what was Harry speaking about?
He was talking about a walk for helping the Gurkhas and Oxfam. It's a sort of relay walk that is raising money for the Gurkha Relay Trust and Oxfam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so once again, doing his part. But Prince Charles also spoke out about the coronavirus this week and how it was basically like a reset of the economy, but stressed the importance that swift and immediate action needs to be taken place when it comes to climate change. Take a look.
Billions of people around the world are waiting and longing for concerted action to right the balance of this planet that we have so rashly disrupted. Millions of younger employees of countless companies and corporations are desperate for action.
So what did Charles have to say about climate change?
So Charles said that climate change is possibly going to have more of an effect on people than the COVID crisis, which was sort of taken in a controversial way here in the UK. I think for people who have been very affected by the COVID crisis, this was something hard to hear. Yeah. So there was a lot of talk surrounding his remarks and everything, but I think his main point was just that we need to take action. And, you know, like you said, as the economy is sort of paused right now, look at ways to rebuild that will be a little bit better for the earth.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But like you said, yeah, this is the chance to kind of reset everything. And I think it's just a way to reset everybody's lives. I feel like everybody had to hit the pause button and kind of reevaluate things and see what's important and see what's not. And, you know, to Prince Charles, you know, climate change has been an important thing for him for a number of years.
Yes, he really has been a trendsetter on this topic. He's been talking about it for decades, for sure.
Totally. Well, while Prince Charles was talking about climate change, Kate and William got a little competitive over bagels. I love this. Take a look.
Okay. I'm not bad. I think Kate wins.
We'll go with that. You need a story.
I feel like they have a very competitive marriage.
Yes, they do, but I love it. And do you know what? This bagel shop is around the corner from my house.
Oh, really?
Yes, I had no idea they were there at the time. And if I had known, I would have like stalked them probably. But it's so close to me. I can see it from my window.
Oh my God. Did they make good bagels?
I don't know. I didn't get to try one. I need to try one. But I have to say the bagels in London are not like the bagels in New York. Not saying they're better or worse. I'm just saying.
Not the same. Well, you should go in and request, I just want the bagel that was made by Prince William.
Definitely. I'm going to try that for sure.
Yeah. Well, they not only did they make bagels that day, they were also pretty busy. They were meeting with job seekers and staff in London, and they also visited a London mosque, right?
Yes, they were going from place to place, sort of thanking people for helping throughout the COVID crisis. I think at this bagel store, this bagel shop has been delivering supplies to vulnerable members of the community in East London throughout the whole lockdown process. So they were sort of just like shining a light on that and just thanking people all throughout the neighborhood for all the help that they have been doing.
Definitely a good thing. All right, now it is time to spill the royal tea, and boy, do we have a lot of tea to spill. So let's start with Harry and Meghan. Us Weekly is getting some reporting that they are planning for baby number 2. So we are hearing that she definitely wants to get pregnant by the time that she is 40, which is next August.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a pretty good plan. I think it'll definitely help them. It'll keep us even more busy if they have another.
Oh my God. Are you actually surprised that she's not pregnant yet?
Yes. Are you?
Kind of, yeah. You know, Archie is he's 16 months old now, you know, but I feel like maybe they're trying to get their footing. You know, source did tell us now that they found their home in California, you know, kind of have that Netflix deal, know what their future kind of has at stake, you know, maybe now that they have time to kind of settle down and plan for baby number 2.
Yeah, it seems like they're in a really good place right now, and it would be a great time to kind of start doing that. But of course, it's always a great time for a new royal baby.
Oh, totally. All right. If you had to put money on it, when is she going to announce that she's pregnant?
Holidays, Christmas time.
Yep, you're going to blow it all up on the holidays.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Well, Meghan's lawyer during this week also denied that she cooperated with the authors of Finding Freedom. Of course, this all happened during this mess of a court case that is going on back in London with her against the British tabloids, but her lawyers came out and said that no, she had nothing to do with this book, which a lot of us think that maybe she did.
Yeah, the book is so detailed. It seems really hard to even fathom that the authors could have gotten that level of detail without some sort of cooperation or collaboration, unless Meghan and Harry's friends completely sold them out. That would be the only way to get this information. So it is really interesting that they're now saying that there was no collaboration in the court documents, but this isn't the same as testifying under oath, right?
Right. Correct. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I don't think that her friends would have sold her out, because she is also kind of friendly with the author Omid Scobie. Like, he had pretty much, you know, free reign into all of their press events and things like that. So they got pretty close over the years too. So I don't think her friends sold her out. I think maybe she was privy to some of the information that they were going to share, but she did not talk to the authors directly, I don't think.
Right. I think the interesting thing is the word collaborate. What does collaborate mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, does it mean spoke to Omid and Carolyn Durand directly, or does it mean facilitated conversations between them and her friends? It's just, we don't really know what actually went on. And I don't think we will know unless the trial goes to court.
Yeah. Which, who knows, that very well could happen, because this has been kind of going on forever. I think they are going to trial it in January, so we still have a few months before this kind of get resolved, but it's going to get messy.
Yeah, it kind of already is. Yeah. I was really surprised that the court allowed them to keep the identities of her 5 friends who spoke to People magazine confidential. So I don't know if that will hold up if it goes to trial either. Yeah. I think that's probably going to have to become public if it goes to trial.
I think so too. And who knows, one of those friends may well be Jessica Mulroney. So Jessica has been in the press for a number of months after she got into this social media feud with blogger Sasha Exeter. So ever since the two of them kind of went back and forth, we got reporting that Meghan took a step back from their relationship. But now it seems Jessica posted a statement about Meghan and then later deleted it, right?
Yes, she posted a statement saying they are family, and I believe the statement said they still talk every day. Mm-hmm. So she posted it and then deleted it. It had a GIF at the bottom. It had a weird GIF of a TV show character. I'm not sure exactly who it was, but it was an odd little post, I would say.
An odd little post, because, you know, the reason why we heard that she took a step back is because Jessica brought Meghan into this whole mess with Sasha. So I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe they are still friends. Maybe they do talk every single day. It is kind of weird that she posted that and then deleted it. Obviously, she just wanted our attention, and then she wanted to not have it out there forever.
Yeah, I would say posting something inflammatory on your Instagram and then deleting it is not a good way to stay friends with the royal family. Whether they are still friends or not, who knows? But I think we can all agree that that's not the kind of thing the royals really look too kindly on.
No, I'm sure she got a not so nice phone call after that one.
Yeah,
maybe. Well, a few months back, I don't know if you remember, the royals were not happy with Tatler magazine after they released this big article, this big expose about Duchess Kate. Well, it is now being reported that they have removed those controversial claims from the magazine, which is pretty interesting.
This is so interesting to me. I'm obsessed with this story because Tatler is really, you know, it's the Bible of sort of the posh, upper crusty kind of people in the UK. So to me, it was really interesting to see a story that even cast a little bit of shade on Kate in Tatler. But yeah, it created a huge sensation when the story came out. And some of the things that they did take out of the story were that Kate was perilously thin, that her mother, Carol Middleton, is a terrible snob, those are the words they use, and that her sister, Pippa, is too regal and try-hard. They also took out a passage claiming that Kate once had a poster of William on her wall, and they took out an allegation that William was absolutely incandescent about Meghan and Harry stepping down. So those are like the juiciest parts of the story.
Right. Yeah. What's left? Well, Tatler did say that they've always had a very long-standing relationship with the royal family. So it seems like they want to keep that intact, but I feel like the damage is already done.
Yeah. And the things that they took out, aside from the poster thing, those are all very opinion-based statements that they took out. None of it is fact-based. None of it is really stating a fact that was inaccurate. It's just kind of using colorful language. So I find it really interesting that they published it in the first place if they were willing to take it down after the fact.
Right. And they said that the royal family was aware that this article was about to be published. I'm sure they didn't know exactly what was going to be in it, but yeah, they weren't too happy about it. They took it down. But like I said, I don't think that they're going to be running to Tatler for their next big expose article. I don't think that that's going to happen.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Well, so we are getting some more information about this upcoming biography about Prince Philip, which seems really fascinating. And it's now this excerpt that we saw was all about his relationship with his son, Prince Charles. I'm sure if you watch The Crown, you have seen that they didn't have the best of relationships, but this kind of goes more into detail. And we learned that, you know, Philip was kind of an absentee father. I mean, he wasn't even there for his birth.
Yeah, he wasn't there for the birth. He was out playing squash. Is that the most posh British thing you've ever heard in your life?
Totally. And it wasn't, he didn't really show up to birthday parties and things like that. But in Philip's defense, it does seem like this isn't really unusual for the royal family.
Yeah, and for, I think, the aristocratic classes in the UK and other countries in general, I think this is sort of the way things were done until very recently. If you grew up in an atmosphere where you had a lot of money and had nannies, you might not really see your parents that much, right. I think back then.
Yeah, and they also said Queen Elizabeth didn't really show up to, was only at a couple birthday parties as well. So this, like you said, this has been the norm for so long. We're so used to seeing Kate and William always interacting with their children, always taking their children everywhere, you know, posting about their birthdays and things like that. So this obviously comes as a shock to us, but back then it was kind of the norm.
Yeah, and I think their involvement in their kids' lives is sort of a shock to older people, older generations that are sort of in their social class, because it's not really the way it was done. But I do think it's good to see Philip getting a little bit of a rough handling on this, because it always seems to be about the Queen.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like people are always saying that the Queen should have been more present, and maybe she should have, maybe she shouldn't, but it's good that people aren't letting Philip off the hook. If they're going to say that about the Queen, they should say it about Charles's father as well, because it's not just the mom's job.
Totally. I totally agree with you. I'm very excited to read this book. It's going to be a really good read. All right, let's break down our royal rules. So a few weeks back, actor Ryan Ken went viral with his version of The Crown. He's going to talk to us all about it in a minute, but first, take a look at his viral video.
With all due respect, Your Majesty, this is a matter of grave importance. If the papers find out that the napkins were folded in the wrong direction, breaking with centuries of tradition, your father, do not speak of my father. He was a great man, honored tradition, yes. But I can assure you that even he would not have wasted his time talking about napkins.
I mean, what was that moment like when you realized that, oh my God, this is going viral?
It was very surprising, because I kind of make these videos to cheer myself up, to cheer my friends up. And when I posted that one, I did not think anybody else was going to find it funny. I actually sent it to my friend, who we have an inside joke where we always are saying, porche. And so I was like, I don't think anyone else is going to think this is funny, but here you go. And people just kept sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. And it made me a little anxious at first, but I will say, it was a thing I had intended to spread joy for my friends. And so it was really nice that it could have that effect even on strangers. So
definitely,
for the most part, it's been fun.
So you are a big fan of The Crown, right?
Yes.
So what made you get so into the show?
Well, I love a period piece. I love a British drama. One of my favorite genres of film and television is wealthy white British people adjusting to change. So this was right up my alley.
Yeah. I think one of the funniest things about the video for me was just the nuance between the two different accents that you're doing, especially when you say the word napkin in the Queen's accent. It's like ridiculous. So what is your secret as an actor for nailing these accents that are really detailed? It's not just like a, generic British accent.
I really appreciate that, because I am by no means an accent or dialect expert. I've always been a little bit of a parrot. So I was kind of listening and sort of repeating it. And like I said, there's always a British accent on my television. Like, and so it was a lot of just sort of listening and trying to mimic a specific voice and specific cadence. And also I felt as though the joke wouldn't really work unless the accents were pretty close. But there's an embarrassing amount of footage on my phone of me saying napkin. No, that's not right. Napkin.
How many takes did it take for you to get this right?
I would say a conservative 1,000. It took quite a bit, but it wound up being fun and worth it in the end if it brought joy to folks.
Yeah. What made you decide on the scenes that you decided to portray?
Well, I wanted to get something that kind of got at the aspect of the show that is about the tradition and sort of sometimes the silliness of tradition and what these folks are choosing to focus on, or what they are obligated to focus on. And to me, it was always interesting how something that might on its face appear trivial has this incredible weight of tradition behind it. So surely I know I imagined it, but I'm sure there has been a napkin crisis before in Buckingham Palace. But
have any cast members of The Crown, do you know if they've seen the video? Has anybody commented on the video?
Not that I know of. I'm a little terrified for people to see it, particularly Josh O'Connor and Tobias Menzies, the love I have for them. I don't want to ruin my chance of ever, getting to meet them and express that love to them. But not that I know of, but hopefully someone saw it and maybe quietly giggled at home.
Really good. And then I got to ask, who is the better queen?
Me. I would say I gave an excellent performance as the queen. I would love to, reprise that role if someone at Netflix would have me. But what I'm not going to do is cause any beef between my girls Claire and Olivia. I love them both.
Diplomatic answer that a member of the royal family would probably give.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Ryan, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Where can people go and watch some more of your great videos?
So you can follow me on Twitter. My name is Ryan_Ken_Axe. And it's the same on Instagram as well. And you will see whatever foolishness strikes me on that particular day.
I love Ryan. He's fantastic. Everybody go check out his content. It's wonderful.
Yeah, he was great. I loved that. He was so funny.
So much fun. All right, let's move on to our royal history moment of the week. And it appears that the pandemic has hit the Crown Estate pretty hard. Now, this is pretty interesting because the Crown Estate has kind of lost a lot of money because of the pandemic.
Yeah, apparently the Crown Estate is still pulling in a little bit of a profit, but its value as a whole has been written down by $716 million following the lockdown. But, don't get your tissues out because they're still turning a profit of about $447 million this year. And that money goes to the royal family and certain aspects of the British government as well.
How will they survive with such little money?
I know. This is the kind of thing that blows my mind as a transplant to the UK, is learning about the Crown Estate and freehold and leasehold and how property works here. It's really different from the US.
Yeah. What exactly is the Crown Estate?
So the Crown Estate is some property holdings that the Crown has, and the money that comes from those holdings, it goes equally to the Crown and to the government to pay for different operational costs and expenses, and it goes into the sovereign grant, which is what the royal family gets each year to pay for all of its expenses. So part of this downturn means that some of the people who are paid out of that fund for their bonuses are maybe not going to get them this year, which is a shame.
Right.
And it's just they're gonna have to move a few things around, I would imagine, at the palace to sort of make up for this little bit of loss that they might not have been anticipating this time last year.
Right, definitely. I'm sure that they probably will recoup next year once everything gets back to normal. We'll
Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right, well, before we wrap up, we have to, of course, check in with our royal kiddos in our pint-sized palace. And while the royal kids have been laying low, Kate and William shared this video of an Irish guardsman being reunited with his son. Get your tissues ready because you may cry about this. Take a look. I love this video so much.
I know. I really got a tear in my eye when I watched it.
No, I know. It's such a warming moment, such a great thing to see, especially in all these trying times. So why do you think Kate and William would post something like this?
Well, Prince William is a colonel of the Irish Guards, so he's held that position since 2011. So of course they probably wanted to just give a little shout out to the Irish Guards, but I think it's also just obviously a really nice video, and it took place in Northern Ireland, which is where they visited recently. And I think maybe they're sort of trying to build their ties to Northern Ireland a little bit more too. I think that is probably a little bit of the goal, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they achieved the goal in making us all cry.
Yeah.
Well, Molly, thank you so much for running down all things royals with me.
Thank you so much.
All right, to watch Royally Us, make sure you come back to Us Weekly's YouTube channel every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we will see you next week.